Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another round of the TRR 2020 Championship. I'm Peter Butcher, and I'm joined in the commentary box by Thilo, Falkenberg and Jack Eyre. Good evening, gents.
Hello there, hope you're all well.
Good evening.
Tonight we're at Rockingham Sportscar for two 16-lap races in the UFR. Should be a fun one. A little short, thin, tiny little GTR car. Rolls very easily on the curbs, of which there are plenty around this short track. Qualifying will be underway in a couple of minutes, but in the meantime I'm going to very quickly run you down the championship order as it currently stands. So out front with a tiny lead, about 11 points, is Nico Pantola for Yes Motorsport. Jan Wikowski, better known as Juban, in second for Team Up Racing. Gavin Peat for TRR in third. Rick Cardle for Sidus in fourth. Trespasser in fifth for Yes Motorsport. Yoni Katilla for World Class Lines in sixth. Then it's Michael Malak in seventh for Master Race Car. Yari Katilla for World Class Lines in eighth. Tom Salmonen for TRR in ninth. And Anton Aulers rounds out the top 10 in 10th for TRR. 20 minutes of qualifying tonight. What are we looking forward to for tonight's round, lads?
I'm looking for the most amount of rolls by a single car. I think I will definitely see a few cars attacking the curbs. Rockingham's notorious for sausage curbs, and this car's notorious for disliking sausage curbs, so we'll see. The UFR only weighs 600 kilograms, so it doesn't take much to get it on its roof. I think qualifying is just about to start. Here we go. So 20 minutes of qualifying, all the drivers making their way onto the track.
Already some first drama with drivers being pushed into the pit wall. It's an American-style circuit, so between the garages and the actual pit lane there is a nice little wall. And also some confusion at the pit exit, which pit exit road to use. Interesting. So what we are going to see in the first corner, the first corner is that famous chicane where back in the old days Catherine Lack flipped with her Formula 3 car. And this is not going to be bypassed. There are going to be some measures in place to keep the cars on the right line. It's going to be interesting to see how they deal with the first chicane. It's notorious for inviting you to cut it.
Yeah, well, such as the... Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, as Upsas comes around being the first driver to start a hot lap.
It looks like they've just added in walls at the chicane in the last few minutes to stop drivers from cutting over, so that might prove interesting. I was just going to say before that yes, at the last corner out onto the oval there are some there's a thick yellow line been drawn on the ground which will stop cars from flying out too wide there. This car doesn't need as much of that runoff anyway, but it's good that track limits are being enforced there because you can gain an ungodly amount of time by running out wide through there. And as Thilo mentioned, we're watching Upsas from Yes Motorsport as he makes his way onto the oval to complete the first timed lap of the day. This should give us an idea of how long the race will be tonight, or how long the races will be. They are 16 laps in duration.
So the first provisional pole time by Upsas, 1 minute 04.70, just beaten by Ricardo four-siders, a 1:04.26. If you're joining late, we're seeing the UFR, the UF GTRs at Rockingham Sportscar.
On your screen right now is Rocky himself, taking a bit too much of the chicane into turn 1, catching the wall. He will pit and retry. He's actually set a time, but it is the slowest time so far of the 14 cars out of everybody that we've got that have set times so far.
"16 minutes to go in the session. Currently Ricardo in provisional pole position. Then Upsas for Yes Motorsports. Born to Race Reject. Kit currently in 4th position. Well, just being pushed down a position by Gavin Pete, who is now on the tally in 2nd position, just 1/100th of a second behind Ricardo. In 6th position, currently Jari Katila, followed by Hydro for Team Rock Racing, Joni Katila for WCL, Adam for TCR, and Red for Born to Race, the current top 10.
So only 100ths per second separate the top 2 drivers, both with equally impressive laps. Will any of them improve in just under 15 minutes that we have remaining of qualifying? Slightly different for us this week. It's not usual we have actual corner names for any of the corners within LFS, but obviously with Rockingham being a laser scan track, I'd say it's real, but unfortunately it's been bought and turned into a bit of a logistics hub nowadays, so I don't think there are any race meetings taking place anytime soon. So, well, all I will say is the very final corner, as we are approaching now, you'll notice on the wall it says 4. That's because that's the oval. And even though it's last corner, we are calling that turn 4 today. Now, don't be alarmed if we say turn 4 and it looks like we're just about to cross the start finish. That's just the name of the corner there. You can see the 4 on the wall behind.
Oof, people bouncing off this wall into the chicane. As I mentioned, this wall has been added very last minute, so I was expecting it to catch 1 or 2 people off guard. Maybe not in
That
such...
could be catastrophic in the race.
Back in Open Endurance Cup 2, there was also a wall in place, but just for the qualifying session, and from what I've just heard, this is also going to be the case for this event. So for the race sessions, this wall is gone, and the drivers will face a much different turn 1 approach.
As we see the first driver to break into the 1 minute and 3s.
More bouncing off of the walls at the chicane. Contact between Elmo and I think that was Renault Coots. Bit strange to see that in qualifying. comes Elmo across the line. Completes his time lap.
A lot of drivers getting caught out by this wall in the chicane here. Rocky's must have clouted it about 5 times now. Luckily though, he can try again.
Also, luckily, he already has set a fast time. 1 minute 06.70. Putting him into 25th position. In fact, all 27 drivers who are on the server already have set a lap time. So the current order with just over 10 minutes to go. Yes Motorsports, Lagukas in first position with a 1 minute 03.67, the only one who set a time below the 104. Second place, Renault Kutz, 104.09. In third position, Joni Katila, 1 minute 04.25, followed by Siders Rick Cardle and Gavin Peet for Team Rock Racing. Each of those separated by just 1/100th of a second. Sixth position, Team Rock Racing, Japan. Seventh, Upsas for Yes Motorsports. Eighth, Trespasser, who is also in Yes Motorsports now. Kryn in 9th position, and Born to Race Reject in 10th.
Watch Texas rejoin. He got it all sorts of wrong out of Gretton and is now sat waiting patiently to rejoin. Not the best place to be waiting. There's just a constant stream of cars coming past him. Catilla gets it all sorts of wrong out of into the chicane and smashes off the walls. People are being too greedy into there. We're watching Race Green Autosports Redbot as he rounds turn 1. The Dean hairpin. Around turn 3. And now he heads through the fifth path chicane. Someone's rolled.
Someone rolled.
Yeah.
I think it was B2R's red.
So red rolled when Redbot came around. And you see that Redbot is on a fast lap. The ban just in front of him taking the top line through turn 4 to get the momentum onto his fast lap. while Redbot put in a 1 minute 05.12, being now classified ahead of his teammates Ronnie and Magic, who are in positions 18, 19, and 20.
Just over 6 minutes to go in this qualifying session. As Redbot bails his lap. We're watching Team Up Racing's Kevin Pete as he rounds oval turn 4.
Does improve and moves from 6th position up into 4th with a 1 minute 4.16. Now taking just over a tenth off that time, he can find himself in 2nd place. But he's going to need to improve by about, well, just under half a second really if he wants to catch our pulse at it so far. The only driver to get into the 1 minute and 3s. Definitely quite a gap between P1 and 2, surprising. The 4/10 separate P1 to 2.
What was that, Thilo? That was
I just saw in the corner of my eye Adam flipping.
we are watching Team Musoini at the moment.
Under 5 minutes of qualifying remaining. And I apologise for my voice, ladies and gentlemen. You might not be able to tell, but I'm definitely ill today. I think it's just the pollen where I am. Everything that isn't me wants to kill me.
Sounds like you were in Australia.
Apologies for the lack of information on the screen. We are experiencing some trouble with our overlay system.
We'll try and keep you as updated as we possibly can.
And hopefully we'll get it back for the start of the race.
So Zaban has set a personal best for himself and moves into 3rd place. He's just set a 1 minute and 4.08. Redbot as well with a personal best that lap. He moves up into 17th position with a 1 minute and 5.09. No, the drivers from first to last, 28 cars spread by 3 seconds, 3.03 seconds separates them. You're currently watching TC Racing's Adam. He makes his way into Chapman's curve now. Be careful of the sausage curbs there on entry. That's where you can roll it into Piff Paff we go.
Adam with the number plate of Nico, please. Because Nico Pantola is not around today. Well, he is around, but only, it seems, on the screen. Hello, Nico. Hope you like being on the other end of the footage.
Adam rounds the final corner, oval turn 4. He does improve. Although he's immediately shifted back down the order once again as another driver improved. I believe that was Texas. Adam now in 14th position. His fastest lap at 1 minute 4.93.
Nico is watching the stream because he's serving a one-race ban. Sorry to call you out like that, Nico, but someone's been a bad boy. One minute remaining as we see Mandula warming his tyres up a little bit. I'm sure this is going to be his warm-up for his final attempt.
So 57 seconds remaining in qualifying. We've just crossed that 1 minute threshold. And with the lap being as they are, you have until timer ends to start the lap. Anybody leaving the pits now won't make it round an out lap.
It's very strange to see Mandula and, to be honest, also the other race green guys. There's so little green on those cars today.
Yeah, you could barely tell.
Mandula aborting his lap into Dean.
Reject into
Not
the
this
wall.
time.
Everyone's
There's a
struggling
ban
with
into
that
the wall as well.
first chicane.
You're watching Cardle in second position at the moment. He'll want to improve on his second place time of 1 minute and 4.03. Can he get into those threes?
Session's over. Everyone on their lap will be able to complete it, but no more laps will be able to be started.
Into Gretton. And now joining the oval to round the final corner. And he does manage to get into the threes. He improves. He does a 1 minute 3.90. So only 2 out of our 28 drivers managed to get into the threes. But still nobody really close to our pole sitter, Yas Motorsport.
And another one into the threes, the trespasser with a 1 minute 0391, being the last driver to cross the line with a flying lap.
And only 100ths off the second time there from Rick Cardle. I think Michael also set a personal best on that lap, but he's down in 24th with a 1 minute 5.61.
We'll be back with the start of race race 1 in just a few minutes. We'll run down the full order of qualifying as soon as we have them.
We'll let the track stewards also deconstruct the wall that's in the in turn 1 chicane. Obviously we won't see that for the race, that was just there for qualifying. And in my opinion, rightly so. So what are your predictions for the race then, gentlemen? Are we going to see a clean turn 1? A clean first lap? Hopefully for most.
To be honest, with this chicane, I don't think that turn 1 is really being that clean on the first lap. There's essentially so little room and so many cars approaching turn 1. The speed will not be too great as the approach is not too far, but still, I think there will be some carnage right at the start.
Obviously, drivers want to avoid carnage as much as the next driver, but at the same time, a lot of them are hungry for positions. We'll see how cautious they are in turn 1 on every lap, really. You know, if there's a car around you, you've got to be ever so careful there, because if you're even a foot offline, you are getting launched.
I wonder if on this combo, if it's possible to, on the first lap, have the drivers go around the first chicane. I wonder if this could be an option for future races at this track, because obviously the first chicane is a pretty big pinch point in at this track, especially with these cars. So yeah. I think it's good that they've got rid of the wall.
You're not on air, right?
Hi, Deco. We are on air. Race director deciding to come and have a chat with us. But yeah, no. So yeah, the turn 1, the chicane will be quite a big pinch point. So I expect that we'll see at least some incidents on the opening lap. We've got nearly 30 cars expecting to make their way down there, so plenty of action to be expected, no doubt.
I'm not officially race directing, I'm just kind of here as tech support, but I kind of would offer a comment on the skip the chicane lap 1 if you want.
Well,
I know that you can't actually skip the chicane because there's cones there, but it could be possible to create an open config.
We could definitely consider creating an open config for the future.
It could almost be like lap 1 is like a joker, where you kind of avoid the chicane on the first lap, and then the second lap it's blocked off. That happens at certain karting tracks to make the home straight slightly longer for the start, and then they throw in a chicane after lap 1.
It also happens, for example, in WTCR when they race in Portugal on that street circuit. I just forgot the name of.
Also happens in two-wheeled forms of motorsport as well. You'll know Supercross and Motocross. Their starting grids are completely separate to the rest of the track. I think we've got the top 10 ready though.
Yeah.
Thilo, you want to run us down?
So in pole position, 1 minute 03.55 for Yes Motorsports, it's Lagucas, followed by Rick Cardle for Team Sidus with a 1 minute 03.90. Trespasser for Yes Motorsports, just 1/100th of a second behind that in third position. Team Rock Racing in fourth and fifth with Gavin Pete and Renault Kutz, both doing a 1 minute 04.05. So same lap time, same team.
Race 1 has started, sorry to interrupt, but yeah, Lacunas has got a good start. We're going to go into the chicane for the first time. The walls have been removed, so there's going to be plenty of grass action, but everyone seems to be away fairly well so far. Lacunas going slightly defensive, that's Rick Cardle moving around the outside, 3 wide behind between Gavin Pete Trespasser and Renault Kutz.
As we make our round, the first lap into Chapman Curve, Lacunas is still our leader from pole position. Nobody could touch him in qualifying. Already starting to pull away slightly from P2. However, they are battling. GB looking on the outside there of Rick Cardle, not able to make the move.
Cringe shoves Texas off in the back.
Into Gretton we go.
Shot. Contact between Jay Catilla and that was Jaban, who got caught up a little bit in that.
Oh, Upsas is on his roof. a big pile up there on
Yeah,
the
2,
end
3,
to the
4
oval.
cars involved there. Upsas still on his roof. Everybody able to rejoin the track. We've got Red Bot down involved. Catilla's involved. B2R's reject involved there. Flank also in 25th position.
Rick Cardle smashed over the curbs at turn 1. He's battling with Gavin Pete down at the Dean hairpin. Trespasser and Renault Coots battling behind. Gavin Pete is not giving Rick Cardle any room to breathe here. We're on board with Gavin Pete now. Contact. And now Trespasser is going to be all up over the back of Gavin. Yes, he is. I have to say, this does look like a very, very fun combination to drive. The UFR is such an unstable car at the best of times. Throw at it a load of curbs and a load of twisting corners, as Upsas is still on his roof on the exit of turn 4 onto the oval. Side by side, Gavin Pete and Rick Cardle as we come across the line to start lap 3 already. Rick does yield and Gavin gets through. It's a nice move.
That's invited Trespasser through. He's already made the move, and also Coots comes around the outside. Into Dean we go.
Coots sends it on Trespasser.
Slots into 3rd place.
Great
Manages
move
to get it turned in and hits the apex as well. Gets the drive out of the corner he needs.
So,
and he catch
yeah.
Gavin Pete.
Because of the chicane, Rick Cardle lost 3 places there, Jack.
Yeah, it's all or nothing really. I mean, if you get it wrong, it's such a fast corner and there's quite a sizable straight.
Oh, Yanni Catilla nearly rolled it. Held it on 2 wheels for so long through there. And that's given Jaban the opportunity to catch up a little bit.
So your leader crosses the line to start lap number 4. The gap is already 2.85 seconds to 2nd place. He's just going to run away with this. Nobody seems to have an answer for pace. Everybody behind him seems to be fighting. Massive braking zone here for Dean Corner. Very, very close to the back of Pete there. Coots was, and Trespasser having a sniff up the inside, just not able to get the exit out of the corner that he wanted. He remains in 4th position. Huge sausage curbs on both of these right-handers here. The second one of Chapman Curve as we make our way through for lap number 4. Into Piff Paff. 3rd gear, 4th gear, 100 miles an hour here, just as you lift and turn into. Here we go through Gretton onto the straight. Pete not with the greatest apex there. Coots looks a lot closer than he was, but then again, Trespasser's also closer. I think we might see this battle for the duration of the race, gents.
1/4 of the race just done.
The gap's already 3.5 seconds between 1st and 2nd.
Renault Coots is going to have a go at Gavin here.
Absolutely
Renault
driving
Coots
away.
Inside.
Now what will Trespasser do? Because he's just sitting back and watching this at the moment. Look, he wants to get involved.
Well,
Really
Coots has
run
made it
out
up
of that.
to P2 now.
Ooh, a bit too much curb there for Trespasser. Has to lift a little, doesn't want to run wide. You get a centimetre of this car on the grass and you're a passenger. Slick tyres and grass do not mix.
Oh, Pete caught the edge of the curb, which made the car go a bit unstable there.
Yeah, he looked massively out of shape, able to recover though.
Oops, that's giving everybody a friendly honk as they drive past. It's nice.
Brutal lines there through the corner.
Lacunas, also known as LLM Excellent, is out in the lead. Renault Coots for Team Up Racing in 2nd place. And this man on screen, Gavin Pete, for Team Up Racing in 3rd. Team Up Racing occupying 2 of the top 3 positions right now. And it's all going off in the background between Rick Cardle's made it back up to 4th.
Yeah, Trespasser hit one of the sausage curbs and suddenly only had 2 of his wheels connected to the ground. So with the advantage of 2 more cars on the black stuff, tires on the black stuff, Rick could use the extra grip he had to overtake. But Trespasser is in the slipstream, and oh, okay,
Yeah,
lost everything through
Yoni
that
Catilla
chicane.
is going to go on the offensive. Jaban behind. Yoni forces Trespasser to go slightly defensive, and now they're pushing each other through Dean Hairpin. Let's go on board with Jaban and watch this battle ahead unfold.
Oh, Trespasser runs wide and pushes Catilla onto the grass. And it looks like Jaban just got caught out there in the wrong moment and now lost connection to Catilla and Trespasser.
Yeah, but now it's a slipstream battle. Catilla doesn't want to be making the move on Trespasser before the chicane. We saw how costly that can be. You just have to be patient. He's got space behind, but
Oh,
Trespasser nearly lost it there.
Yeah, he caught the curb in the wrong angle. Oh, late dive down into the hairpin and
Yeah, Trespasser
Catilla
was
makes
very
the move.
accommodating there. Saw the move pretty late and left the door open. Else there would have been a collision, let's be honest. So opportunistic lunge by Catilla, but good of Trespasser to see that the opportunity, well, see that the move was on. Lacunas coming round the last corner to complete lap 8 of 16.
Doesn't look like anybody's got an answer for his pace. He holds the fastest lap.
Halfway through the race now.
Fastest lap so far is a 1 minute and 4.22. That last lap not quite as close to 1 minute 5.5, but still the gap is well over 4 seconds.
Jaban's caught up to Trespasser a little bit. Trespasser clearly not enjoying the first chicane here. A couple of laps in a row
Meanwhile,
that he's just been caught out a bit.
just behind Jaban, we've got TC Racing's Adam. The gap's coming down quite significantly to this little 3-way battle that we have in front.
Rick Cardle all over the back of Gavin Peat. This is
Oh,
the battle.
Trespasser hit the wall there.
Oh no.
He just lost out to Jaban. He hit the wall exiting. What is it called?
Gretton.
Gretchen, yeah.
Pete and Cardle side by side there, almost into the chicane. What can Cardle do on the brakes here into the curve?
Riding on board with Sidus Motorsports, Rick Cardle.
So Cardle was quite a bit faster than Pete that last lap. A few tenths of a second here and there. He'll want to be getting past Pete if he's consistently faster. But where? Apart from just after the chicane into the braking zone for Dean, it's not exactly incredibly easy to pass anybody. And look at the draft.
Yeah, it's so powerful even in these small cars.
Just not able to carry the speed though once he pulls out. He'll need to stay tucked in behind him. How will they both take the chicane?
I think the word is generously.
Yeah, definitely. Getting definitely generous there with the track limits. Nothing Cardle can do on the brakes, even though he had the inside line, he was not alongside. So Pete brakes just that little bit later and takes the apex.
Lacuna still out front. Rounds the final corner to complete lap 11. Renault Coots from Teamwork Racing, second position. Then there's this battle between Gavin Peat and Rick Cardle for the final podium position. What can Rick do in the 5 laps?
Oh,
He goes for the
sends it, and
dive!
that's contact. He
That's
catches.
never going to work.
You can't pull moves off
he
like
didn't,
that.
He didn't expect Pete to go that line and lose that much speed.
Yoni Katilla promoted to third after that little bit of contact.
What does this mean for the drivers behind as well? We saw Trespasser hit the wall a few laps ago. He's dropped off this group, but at the same time, it looks like he's been reeled in by Adam a bit. The gap separates Trespasser and Adam. It's just 1.6 seconds. So, with the remainder of this and 4 more laps to go, what can the drivers do?
Well, Trespasser's just falling off the back of these guys. He was really close, if you remember, but just mistakes upon mistakes have just meant that he's fallen off the top 6. Adam might be able to get past Trespasser, as we see Japan going for a move on Gavin Peat around the final corner on the oval. Makes the move stick.
Don't let these paints deceive you, even though they are different in colour. Both drivers are Team Rock Racing drivers. Zaban just absolutely just sends it over the curb.
Yeah, look how much he's just caught up to Rick there.
He has indeed.
He's outbraked himself though.
Just not able to get it turned in where he wanted it to. He misses the apex by a metre or so. And look at Pete now, right on the back of Jaban once more. Into the right hander here of Chapman curve. This is where you don't want to be getting generous with the track limits, because it will chew you up and spit you out.
I'm going to say I'm smelling an accident.
It's inevitable, I think, with this combination, and only the remainder of this and 3 more laps to go.
Oh!
And that's Cardle into the wall. Lost all his speed. Doesn't look like he's damaged though. He might have just gotten away with that, but he loses out on 2 positions. He's down in 6th position now.
Jaban up to 4th.
As we round oval turn 4 to start lap number 14 of 16. 3 laps to go. Cardle again, incredibly, I don't even know the word for it, but he's well, not abusing track limits, but very, very close. Now what can Adam do as well? Just looking back at 8th position, look at the gap between Adam and Trespasser. It was over 1.5 seconds a few laps ago. Now it's less than half a second. Adam will be hungry for that 7th position. He wants a few more points, and there's plenty of laps left. If he's got the gap down that much in just 2 laps, if he carries on, he'll be in front of Trespasser before he knows it, and before the checkered flag.
And that's the crucial thing, you've got to be in front before the checkered flag, so we'll keep an
You
eye
have
on that
indeed.
battle.
So Trespasser's split there of a 41.55 and Adams a 41.19, so 4 tenths, sorry, faster in that split alone for Adam. What can he do?
For those of you unfamiliar with the series, there are 2 races per round, the second of which is a fully reverse grid race. So all of the drivers enjoying fresh air at the front in this race will be stuck at the back with everything to do in race 2 as they try to work their way through the field in 16 laps, which, as it turns out, isn't that long. Lots happening.
You thought you'd seen some action in this race, just wait till the second race. We've actually seen drivers win from the back of the grid in these races. Will we see it again today? With the pace that Lacunas is out in the lead, he's just bashing out lap after lap. His fastest is now a 1 minute 4.05, so he's almost in the threes, which only 3 drivers managed to do in qualifying in the race. Unbelievable. The gap is 7 seconds now to second place. If anybody can win from the back of the grid, it's Lacunas for Yas Motorsport.
Doesn't look like Adam's anywhere near Trespasser. In fact, he got past Trespasser. No, he didn't. No, Trespasser was still
looks
ahead.
incredibly slow. Adam's right on the back of him now as we go into Dean. Adam on the outside. Is he going to pull this move off? He can get on the power and keep alongside of him. He cannot.
Is he going to send it? He's lagging a little bit. Not quite. We'll turn our attention to Lacunas, who's driven a flawless race, start to finish. He rounds...
Oh, there's contact between Adam and Trespasser.
Oh.
Sorry, both of the cars there. Almost sideways. Adam
is lagging.
Not great at all.
Lacunas for
Adam's on the inside and
crosses the
Trespasser
line.
there. It's quite hard to see what's going on.
Renault Coots will come across the line second. Yannick Attila will take the final podium position. Then it's Jaban, Gavin Peat, Rick Cardle.
It's going to be Adam.
And then Trespasser versus Adam, side by
Adam's
side.
Just in front. Not even a foot separates the two. Adam needs to stay low.
Yeah,
Trespasser just pulled ahead just at the last minute.
Crazy finish. Hydro
Only a
will finish
hundredth of a
ninth.
second separates them at the line. Less than, well, I'd say about a tenth of a car length, really.
Great finish between those two. Close between Koivunen and Salmonen across the line.
How do you think race 2 is going to unfold, gentlemen?
Well, race 1 hasn't finished yet.
It's not. No, we just form in the front of the grid for race 2 as the final drivers cross the line to finish race 1.
I think it's
Who's
going to be
starting from pole.
Pretty crazy at the back.
Redbot looks like he's going to be on pole. Provisional pole for Redbot in 28th position. A lap down on the rest of the field. He got caught out in that incident that we saw in Gretton, which is the second to last corner on lap 1. Or I think it was lap 2, I can't remember. There was about 4 or 5 cars involved in that. Frank was another one.
But still, a pretty spicy race. Lacunas for Yes Motorsport, followed by Renault Coots for Teamwork Racing. Yannick Attila third. Jaban made it up to 4th. Gavin Peat dropped down to 5th. Rick Cardle likewise to 6th. Trespasser finished in 7th. TC Racing's Adam couldn't quite get the job done across the line. Thousandths between the two guys. Adam finishes in 8th. Hydro from Teamwork Racing down in 9th. Kid in 10th. Race Green Mandula in 11th. Teamwork Racing's Texas in 12th. Yari Attila in 13th. Teamwork Racing's Crin in 14th. Master Race Car Michael in 15th. Born to Race Red in 16th. TRR's Tom Salmonen in 17th. World Class Lions Pekka Koivunen in 18th. And Race Green Magic in 19th. TC Racing's Elmo in 20th.
That actually has been the first win for Lacunas in his first race in the TRR Championship.
Yes, a name we haven't seen in this series, but definitely a name we're very used to seeing in the Live for Speed circle.
And doesn't he remind it of something? Someone racing away in the first race with enormous pace in his first race in the series.
Isaac Price, KY3 yes. comes to mind, so let's see whether Last Lap Motorsports, excellent driving for Yes Motorsport in this series, can repeat what Isaac did a couple of rounds ago by driving a double win in his first appearance in the Teamwork Racing 2020 Championship. It's been done, but it will be really tricky here, I think.
A couple of the previous race winners in the top 10. Our last two rounds, the last round, both race 1 and race 2 winners, both in the top 10 for this race. Hydro and Pete.
Yeah, we'll be back for the start of race 2 after a very short break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gents. Race 2 is about to get underway, and I think Jack is going to run us down what we believe will be the grid for the second race.
Race 2 we know is a complete reverse start of all of the drivers that finished race 1. So in 28th position and starting from pole is Redbot, followed by Sky for Red Devil Racing. We've got Frank rounding, I think there's 2 on each row, so Frank will be starting row number 2 in 3rd position for the next race for Team Rock Racing, followed by his teammate Rocky. In 5th position we've got World Class Lions Soini and his teammate Boz. Following him we've got B2R's Reject, we've got Roni and Elmo, Chris McElroy there for TC Racing. And rounding out the last row for the top 10, we've got Magic and World Class Lines Pekka Koivunen. Curious to see what Lacunas can do from the back of the grid. unbelievable pace in race 1, taking the fastest lap and the win by over 7 seconds. If he just bides his time and makes his way through the pack, I think he can win. We've seen drivers win from the back of the grid before, haven't we, gents? So what are your predictions for race 2?
Well, as I mentioned before we took the break, I think it will be really difficult for Lacunas to get the job done here. Yes,
the race starts.
we're driving for pretty much a quarter of an hour, but still, it's a pretty tall order, it has to be said. So yeah, looks like we've got Red Bot on the pole position for race 2. Sky for Red Devil Racing will start alongside him.
Waiting for the lights now. Near the engine's revving, 1 red light, 2 red lights, and we're away for the start of race 2 here at Rockingham Sportscar. What can Red Bot do from pole? Pretty
Goes
decent
very
start.
defensive.
He does indeed. He wants to make sure he's the only car going there through the first chicane, turn 1. He doesn't want to be side by side with anybody.
Actually, everyone goes there very cleanly through the first chicane.
And Frank's already up to 2nd position. He moves past Sky. Redbot's still away in the lead. Everybody getting away relatively clean so far. I'm sure there's a bit of door banging going on, but
Gavin Pete and at the back of the field, he must have had some contact.
Lacunas
that's
up to
contact there
26th.
between Rocky and Reject there for 3rd position. Quite a few cars getting involved. Ronnie sends it up the inside of Rocky.
Ronnie
Brilliant
driving
move.
a bright green car now.
And he just goes wide though. That allows Rocky to get alongside, and there is contact. Ronnie out on the right. Crin's making his way up on the left as well as Koivunen.
Big gaggle of
Rocky's
cars.
going to lose out in this massively. Texas for TRR also gaining on the pack.
Watch out for Elmo, he's right in the middle of this, coming through to the chicane.
Yeah. Ronnie needs to back out of this if they're all going to go through the first chicane 1 apiece, but it looked as though Chris McElroy and Texas went through side by
Yeah,
side.
they did.
Elmo unfortunately losing out on that. That invites Ronnie through as well.
Frank's up to
Elmo
first.
Elmo back down in 11th place as we make our way round Dean Corner for the 2nd time in race 2. Elmo on the outside now of Ronnie. Battle rages on. Concedes the position. Couple cars side by side further back as well, and that's Elmo on the grass. Elmo on the grass, and he's spun in front of the entire pack. Bit of contact there, but I think
He's taking his
teammate
out.
Everybody's getting involved now. This is not what we want to see.
Ricardo involved.
Drama down the order. Frank out front. Red Devils Racing Sky in 2nd place. Red Bot is in a battle with Reject as we round
just
out
out the
turn
inside
4.
here for Oval Turn 4.
Thilo, what have you spotted?
A big gaggle of cars. There's cars on the grass on the inside of the oval. Katila, I think it is.
It is Katila, yeah, for World Class Lions. He's going to have to go around the tyres separating the pit entry from the rest of the track, but he's able to rejoin just behind TC Racing's Adam. He's in 24th position as he starts the 3rd lap.
Just to let you know, Lacunas, winner from the last race, is up to P14 already.
Just trying to have a look at the gap between Lacunas and our race leader at the moment, which is Team Rock Racing's Frank. The gap between Lacunas and the pole, and our leader is just under 13 seconds. So if he's a second a lap faster and can get around everybody, we have 14 laps remaining in this race. I think he can do it, gents. Frank's last lap was a 1 minute and 6.13, and that was in clean air. He's been in the lead for the last lap, and Gukas, his lap was a 1:11.18, so not the greatest lap from himself. He'd be a lot closer.
If you're watching this for the first time and you're wondering, can I get involved? Yes, you can. You can sign up to the Team Rock Racing 2020 Championship on the LFS forum in the TRR Racing subsection.
So our fastest lap was set then twice across the line. First by Team Rock Racing's Texas with a 1 minute and 5.33, but then got absolutely blown out of the water by our race 1 race winner Lacunas, and he sets a 1 minute 4.65. That's about 8/10 faster than anybody else on track at the moment. He's already up to 12th position. He's made a position up on this lap already, and that's Ronnie he's passed. Who else can he get past this lap? He's just behind Team Rock Racing, Salmonen. There's Michael and B2R's Red ahead on track also. He's just so much faster in every corner, it's unbelievable.
There's no way it's enough to win the race. The cars have already spread out so much. I would be very surprised if he can make it into the top 5 even from where he is.
I wouldn't count against it. I think he's definitely in for a podium if he can continue. Frank in our lead. Oh, he's lost it. Frank's lost it from the lead of the race. Took way too much of the chicane. I was just about to comment on Frank's lap time, but he's down in 4th position now, 5th, 6th. So that's thrown a spanner into the works. Unfortunately for him, he's down in 8th position now. I was about to say the lap he set just then was a 1 minute 6.08. And Lacunas has set a 1 minute 5, so he's almost a second a lap faster than our race leader.
But he's still got 11 cars to get through in order to take over the lead of the race. Reject's
He
currently
has indeed.
occupying that position.
Lacunas makes his way around Michael as we go around Chapman Curve. He's up to 11th place. He's going to have to make short work of the drivers in front of him, and there's a slight bit of space up until the next gaggle of cars that Frank is at the tail end of now. Our race leader at the start of this lap down in 8th position. Disaster for him.
Look at the gap between Frank in 8th and Red in 9th. It's huge. It's what, like 3 or 4 seconds?
It is, but I think it's exactly what Lacunas wants to see as well, because as soon as he gets around these two cars, he's got clean air, and that means he can get his head down and I think bang a couple fast laps out, and he'll be right on the back of that train.
4.8 seconds between those two groups.
11.5 seconds separates Lacunas from our race leader at the moment as they go 3 wide. Oh, and he threads the needle on the outside of B2R Red. Salmonen just not able to get it slowed down. Gave Lacunas the inside line there for Dean. This is brilliant stuff. Lacunas up to 9th position and now has clear air. 5-second gap separates him from 8th position. He'll need to get his head down now, hunt down Frank and then Texas. There's Koivunen, Boz, Crin, Redbot, Sky and Reject all in front of him. The gap to the lead is now 10.4 seconds, so it's dropped quite significantly this lap alone. Look at how Lacunas has dropped the cars behind him already. Not even half a lap's gone by and he's nearly pulled a second on the cars behind. The last split, 8.2 tenths he pulled in half a sector, and that's Salmonen span B2R Red. B2R Red just, don't know if that was deliberate, it didn't look like it. B2R Red just trying to stay as low as he possibly could. Just got himself pit maneuvered there. And that's TCR Adam side by side with Kid there as we lap 7 on our way into Dean.
4
Adam
wide.
on the inside, 4 wide. Catilla around the outside of everybody there. Brilliant stuff. B2R Red going to lose out here to everybody but
Ooh,
Roney as
bumps
there's
Roney on
contact
the
in the
grass.
braking zone, and Roney's into the gravel there.
Keeps the car moving just about. Needs to keep the power down. But that's Roney all the way at the back now.
Just keep you updated. Our gap from Lacunas to the lead is now 8.2 seconds, so it's coming down over a second a lap. I think he can do this, boys. I think he can.
Well, he's in 9th place. We're on board with him now. Let's watch a lap from his perspective and see how he starts to close up to the back of that lead group. He can see the lead from where he is right now.
Yeah, and the last lap set by our leader, which is V2R's Reject, was a 1 minute 6.64, and Lacunas with a 1 minute 4.44. That's only 300ths off of his race best in race 2. We saw a 1 minute 4. I think it was a 0.3 from him in race 1, which was about half a second off his quali time. It's just absolutely just sending it everywhere, and it's paying off. The gap now is 7.27 seconds.
There's a battle going off ahead, so he's caught these guys like by leaps and bounds already, and we're only halfway through the lap.
Slightly offline there. I think there was some contact between World Class Lions Koivunen and himself. Into Gretton we go for the 8th time this race. Sorry.
Again, this lap will be halfway, and Lacunas already up to P9.
Now let's see what Lacunas can do, because I think if he can get close enough, he's going to send it. Let's see how he takes this chicane. So he sets his fastest lap. and extends his already fastest lap of the race by a couple tenths there. He set a 1 minute 4.24 that last lap. Again, the fastest car we've seen on track. The gap to the lead is 6.5 seconds, so it's just coming down and down.
Yeah, he has to average about a second a lap faster every lap for the remainder of the race in order to secure the second win of the day.
And we saw how easy he did that in clean air, but can he do it with a couple of cars on track? He makes short work of Frank now into Chapman Curve as we drive around the rest of the track into Piff Path. Lap 9 of 16. What's he going to do here? Koivunen slightly slower than Lacunas into Gretton, and he'll want the best run he can possibly get. And with the draft, we might see him make a move before we even get to the chicane for lap 10.
This is a great view that we're seeing here.
Now this is classic predator and prey. He'll want to get past these guys as soon as he possibly can. And even with traffic that last lap, he did a 1 minute 5.47. Now that is 200ths of a second faster than the guy who's in the lead at the moment. So able to blast out lap times faster than almost everybody else on the track at the same time as passing people.
Texas has gone
Team
wide.
Racing Texas takes to the grass there, massively offline in Dean. Makes his way around the outside of Koivunen. Does Lacunas into Chapman Curve, still on the outside. Koivunen will concede.
And he's up to P6, so my prediction of him not being able to get into the top 5 is looking like it's going to be destroyed.
Well, you can see the 3 cars in front of him on track now. He's only 2 seconds behind as he on the podium, and there's still this lap and 6 more remaining. What can we see? I think he can do it. The gap is 6.95 seconds to the leader.
It'll be a tough deal, but
I don't know if he can win it from here now, but I think he can get onto at least a second step on that podium, gents.
Yeah, maybe even to reject, because once he has clean air, he is also shrinking down the gap to the leader quite a bit.
Look how much more speed he's able to carry through that first chicane. He's going to make short work of Red Devil Racing's Sky here, up to 5th position on lap 11 of 16.
I'll show myself out.
He's got World Class Lions Boz in front and Team Rock Racing's Crin in 3rd position. They'll see him in their mirrors now. Quite surprising how much faster he is. It's great to see.
It's all about commitment, this car, and having
Absolutely.
the confidence to be able to save whatever it gives you.
And just look at the run he's able to get out of Gretton now as we round onto the oval. He's going to make short work of World Class Lions Boz, and he'll be in front even before we get to the apex of oval turn 4. Right down on the yellow line. Flash of the hazards there to say thank you almost as we start lap number 12 of 16. How fast is he going to catch up to the back of Crin? So Lacunas last lap with a 1 minute 4.94. For context, our race leader did a 1 minute 5. At least 6 tenths faster that lap Lacunas was. The gap to the leader is 5.55 seconds.
Yeah, Reject is our leader on screen right now. Comfortable margin, but not the fastest car on track right now. That goes to Lacunas down in 4th place as he sizes up Crin onto the oval out of Gretton.
So Lacunas, he took a little bit too much grass in the right-handed part of the initial part of Gretton. Then he didn't get the run that he wanted, but he has the draft. He won't make the move before the chicane, but we'll see how much speed he's able to carry through that lap by Lacunas. A 1:05.06. That's the only lap we've seen in the last few laps that's not been a 1:04. Not able to do anything this time into Dean, but he's going to take the second apex. Comfortably gets past Crin. Can he shut the door?
He's on the podium for now.
He's well in front.
Has to go a little bit defensive just because Crin was thinking about making a return move, but shuts the door nicely.
So only one car separates Lacunas from the battle for the lead. Will he be able to get close? Again, the gap not coming down by much this lap. It's still 5.54 seconds this time, so that's a 100th difference than we were a lap ago. With the remainder of this lap and 3 more left, what can he do? He's going to need to be well over a second faster than the competition. And Reject's going to need to not make any mistakes in order to keep his lead, because I think as soon as he drops the ball, Lacunas is going to be there to pounce. How quick will he get past Redbot, who's done an incredible job to stay into second position from the pole spot at the start of race 2. Unfortunately, Redbot finished last in the first race, but he's managed to keep second position up until now. Lacunas is through on lap 14 of 16. What can he do? The gap's under 4 seconds now. The gap is 3.94 seconds. So have we seen a mistake from Reject? The gap was over 5 and now it's under 4, sorry.
He's running out of laps, but I'm rooting for him. Lacunas, that is.
And just between Sector 1 and Sector 2, he gained 0.4 of a second from Reject. Oh, we've got a car upside down.
Yeah,
it's
I just
Red
noticed.
Devil Racing Sky.
Sky from Red Devil Racing on his side. Is that Yentwood? No, that'll be Chapman, won't it? So yeah, Sky obviously lost it on the sausage curb out of Chapman curve. Look at this now,
Last
the
lap,
gap for the leader.
Reject was 2 seconds slower than
Indeed.
Lacunas.
I was just looking at the difference between first and second across the line. It was 3.2 seconds, and by the first split, the gap's now reduced to 2.4 seconds. So, unbelievable pace that we're seeing here from Lacunas.
But only this and 1 more lap left.
He can't afford to make any mistakes. He's just got to be completely surgical, really, in terms of his precision where he places the car. He's going to need every little bit of help he can.
This is
As
it.
we round the oval turn 4 for the second to last time, we're going to be starting lap 16 of 16. What can Lacunas do? Reject's just got to keep it on the track and hit his mark. Lacunas has got to do exactly the same, but also get around Reject too. Carries a massive amount of speed, but also sets the fastest lap again. It extends his lead even more so, takes another 10th off his already fastest lap. Look how much the gap's come down from the line to turn 1 and turn 2.
He took
Where's
so
he gonna
many
make the
liberties
move?
with his line through the chicane. Like, he took out a couple of bollards, so track limit's definitely in question, but it doesn't matter, it's thoroughly entertaining.
This is a man on a mission. The gap is
It's under
0.8 of a second, yeah.
Reject gets a little bit of a wobble, he's run wide.
He has indeed. Now,
Oh, man.
this is where Lacunas needs to play it very safe and needs
Last
to get
corner.
the best exit he can out of.
Oh
for the
my
last
God!
time on 2 wheels, but I think he's going to do it anyway, guys.
I think he's going to do it!
He's on the inside. Reject not seem to defending at all whatsoever.
Reject
It's
not
now
defending
run down to the line. Lacunas is already in front, and he's going to take the checkered flag for the second race here.
What a
at
race!
Rockingham Sportscar. Unbelievable scenes from the last spot on the grid to take the checkered flag, and he does it at the final corner on the final lap. Takes the fastest lap as well.
Unreal.
If that's not impressive, guys, I don't know what is. What a race that was.
He nearly lost it out of Gretton as well. Wow. What a finish.
As soon as I saw him on 2 wheels there, I thought, no, it's a great drive, but he's going to finish second. We just managed to just get the car back stable, but keep it on the power as well, and he got the drive that he needed. Reject not wanting to defend there.
Yeah, he didn't defend any...
Lost out by 800th of a second. I think he could have won that Reject if he'd have just placed his car a little more.
If he'd have been a little bit more aggressive with the
conservative.
defending, yep. I reckon he could have kept it, but great finish. Really interesting one, that.
Also, a shout out to Redbot, who can convert his race 2 pole into a 3rd place finish. 4th position, Team Rock Racing Quinn, then Kurtz and Jaban, his teammates. Trespasser in 7th for US Motorsports. 8th, Gavin Page, TRR. 9th, World Class Lions, Yannick Attila. 10th, TC Racing's Adam. 11th, it's Kit. 12th, TRR Frank, after leading this race briefly. WCL Pekka Koivunen in 13th. Then Michael for Master Race Car. Salmonen, Born to Race Red. World Class Lions Jari Katila in 17th. The duo of Magic and Ronnie for Race Green Autosports in 18th and 19th. 20th, Yes Motorsports Upsas. 21st, it's Elmo from TCR. 22nd, World Class Lions Soini. 23rd, Rocky for Team Rock Racing. And Red Devil Sky somehow finishes one lap down in 24th position after being upside down, or at least on his left door earlier in the race.
Thanks for that rundown, Thilo. I did not think that win was on for Lacunas there. And what do I know?
Well, it was definitely a shot in the dark. It's quite hard to say that he's going to be consistently faster to pass over 26 cars and finish on the top spot. It was definitely a feat, but I think you were definitely realistic in terms of saying that he might not make it to the top 5, because the way everybody else was driving, it looked as though if he just made one mistake, that's it. He would have been on the grass, but he managed to pull it off. Fantastic to see. And for any other drivers, if you want to come and say hi, you're more than welcome to come and talk to us. Feel free to join our TeamSpeak server. That's ts.simbroadcasts.tv. We'd love to hear from you. I think in the commentary booth now, we have TC Racing's Elmo and TC Racing's Adam. So, gents, I'll start with you first. Elmo, how would you sum up your round? I'll talk about both races. We'll start with race 1. How did that go for you?
Race 1 was all right. Aside from the fact I couldn't trust the turn in on my car to take that chicane properly, but yeah, race 1 was fun. Race 2 was mostly fun.
Did you change your approach to both races, knowing that you were starting further forward for the second race?
Didn't change my approach, changed my setup a bit, which meant the right front didn't get so hot in the second race, I don't think, but I wasn't driving as well in the second race either, which didn't help matters. But that was all right.
Race 2, you didn't do too badly. 21st, we saw you getting involved in plenty of tussles onto the oval. At one point, we had the camera trained on you because you were going side by side with about 4 other people into the chicane.
Yeah, that was interesting.
But you survived just about.
Yeah, I got a bit of a hip and shoulder on that one.
Yeah, wobbled that a bit wide, but other than that, it was a decent race. Adam, quickly to you then. How would you sum up your round?
Fairly uneventful, I would say.
Are you hunting down the pack in race 1? You were surprised, I saw, after the fact that you caught up to, I think it was Trespasser, as much as you did. But I was hoping you were going to make that move, just not enough across the line.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. It seemed like some laps he was going much faster than me, but he would have one lap where he would just go much slower. I think it's because he was cutting the track and he was slowing down so he wouldn't get a penalty. But I'm not sure. But yeah, I was pretty surprised. Apparently I was lagging on that last lap.
You were, yes. There was quite a bit of lag happening, and we saw you bouncing off Trespasser a couple of times. Hopefully you can get that sorted before next week, which is the FOX at South City Chicane route. How do you feel about that, Elmo and Adam?
Chicane's going to be interesting.
I love that track,
Yeah,
so
that
I'm going to be looking forward to that.
19
Especially
laps as well. It's a pretty
too.
long race. There are 25 minutes of qualifying as well, so plenty of time to get some clean laps. Thank you, you two. We're joined also by the Lights to Flag winner of race 1 and the winner of race 2 in that thrilling final lap that we watched. Hi, Lacunas.
Hello. I hope we're pronouncing that right. Let us know if we're not.
Yeah, close enough.
Close enough, cool. Congrats! It was awesome to watch that last lap. I have to say, we thought you'd lost it out of Gretton, 2 wheels, and then somehow still managed to have the slipstream for the win across the line. Tell us about it. How was it from your seat?
Yeah, from my seat, for the first race wasn't interesting because I just got a gap and I just raced alone. And for second race, I must say first 2 laps were pretty interesting. A lot of guys getting flipped and whatever, spun.
Yeah.
And I nearly got taken out with Sido's driver as well. When he got out, I was like very close with him out of track. And for last lap, when I saw Reject doing mistake last corner, I knew I had to take it.
Fair enough. Well, we were on the edge of our seat. I didn't think you were going to be able to get the win, but you proved me wrong. So well
Yeah,
done for that.
thank you. And that was because just some guys like Ronnie and the World Class Lions boss just let me pass without wasting time. So I had enough time to catch up.
Yeah, it was nice of those guys to just let you through. It did look like coming out of the last corner that Reject just didn't give any defense and just kind of let you have the win. But after all
He
those
didn't know
cars,
what to do
he didn't know
in
what
that
to do at
situation.
all. Yeah,
I
And
don't think
his
it-
tires
yeah.
were hooked.
I was going to say, considering where he was at the start of the final lap, I don't think he was going to be in the position he found himself in by the last corner. So I think he just definitely caught him napping. But I only have one question: where did that come from? Absolutely unbelievable take. The race win in both races, the pole and the fastest lap in both races. That is unbelievable to see.
I believe I just got better setups for starting. I saw a lot of guys running high pressure in front tires, and I don't think it sticks well enough.
I think
So I guess
another
that's
thing
an
is
edge.
you took a lot of liberties with the chicane. You just basically
I
flat out
think
through the
everybody
first
on the
chicane.
grid did. To be fair, we saw quite a few drivers going deep, and it definitely caught 1 or 2 out. We saw Frank unfortunately spinning from the lead in the chicane for race 2.
Yeah, it was close.
I think you were just able to get away with it a bit more than everybody else, but no, everybody in the same boat really.
And for the last turn, I had to cut once when I saw like 6 guys on the left side, so I just cut to be safe.
We
The
see
last
that you've
turn.
joined Yes Motorsport for this. Does that mean that you're planning on joining in a few more rounds in this series?
I'm not sure. I'll need to check what combos are, so
So
we'll see then.
next week it's South City chicane route in the Fox. If that.
Oh no, thank you. Maybe next
Okay.
one.
Okay, fair enough. I'm sure everybody on the grid will have just breathed a sigh of relief, knowing that you might not be there. But anyway, it'll be a shame because we would have liked to seen another lights to flag victory in race 2 from you. But South City chicane route, I don't think that's possible, even if everybody lets you through. So thank you very much for the interviews,
Thank you,
Elmo,
guys.
Adam, and the double race winner Lagunas. You've been watching round 18 of the TRR 2020 Championship at Rockingham Sportscar with the UFR. As I've been saying, next week, same time, same place, South City chicane route with the FOX. You can sign up on the Two-Minute Racing forum on the LFS forum if you haven't already. We'd love to see you. From me, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed our coverage, please consider following our Twitch channel. We're also on Twitter and Facebook at the same address. Thank you to Thilo and Jack for joining me for commentary.
No, you're very welcome. I hope to see a lot of you guys next week as well. Thanks for everybody tuning in, and thanks to the gents that came to say hi after the race as well. Let's hope next week's is eventful. We've seen 2 brilliant races today.
Yeah, I should probably mention that this weekend the 8 hours of West Hill is going to be streamed by us. Action live here from 3 p.m. I believe, maybe 2. I have to double check. Depending on what the start time of the race
2
is.
p.m. UTC.
So 3 p.m. Yeah. There's no qualifying. Qualifying's already been, but as far as I know, it is not too late to sign up for that race. You'll just start at the back of the grid, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, 8 hours of West Hill on Saturday. Then round 2 of the Bagheera Zero Mileage GT Cup. We'll be bringing you commentary over on the Bagheera 301 Games Twitch channel. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.